everyone, hope you guys are doing well today. So I'm going to be doing a channeled reading on what your guardian angels want to bring up for the collective. Channeled candle reading. So it's interesting because not only is the light on this candle going away 2 times, but the one that I was using to light it is starting to wane when it has plenty of wax and wick. So it's just looking a little like slum, and I'm getting this image of you. Okay, so it's just like an outline of a person, right? And it's representative of you, and then the disconnect of where I'm getting, it's representative of spirit, but it's in the form of other people. And then as I'm seeing this, I see how the wax is itsy bitsy, is dropping very small, and then they're also connecting with each other, and I'm being drawn to the emphasis that all of the wax is above the surface of the water. So even from my visual point of view, I can see the distance between other people, but I have the awareness of our interconnectedness, right? We all share the same surface of the water. And what I'm getting with this is it's kind of like it just reminds me of like That's So Raven. I don't know if you remember that show where she was a psychic and she would have, like, whenever she would get this vision, it would like pull into her eye and she would get this flash of what was going to happen. And I'm seeing that with you, where it's this pull from reality, like the physical environment, the physical world, and seeing some sort of spiritual, divine intelligence, something outside of this world. And in that, of course, when you do that, then you are in some ways more focused on your spirit, so you're less of this world in that moment, like where you are, not just mentally but spiritually, where you're at. I mean, in this particular scenario, that's what I'm seeing. And so what I'm getting is there's this feeling that I get of, well, it's almost like spoiled for choice. There seems to be this feeling that okay, your guys are saying that we gave you the roadmap, we gave you the ability to see the roadmap, and what's confusing you is all of the different routes that you can take, but the point isn't to make a concrete decision on the particular road you take. It's about knowing, it's like looking at it from a different perspective. It's like you having this awareness is what's significant, what's important. You knowing where each leads to, or that it's available, is really about just trying it out and not having to stick to one particular thing. The discipline comes from going towards what you feel passionate about. You don't have to, it's this kind of, they're giving different examples. So just to take it to one, it would be like if you were in school, right, and you decided to join some sort of extracurricular, well, just try it out for that year. That doesn't mean that you have to practice the rest of your life to try and become an Olympian, I don't know, baseball player or whatever, right? Like you can commit yourself to trying it, but that doesn't mean that this is a life sentence for you. It's important that you even have these opportunities. And they're repeating again that it's like when things are good, they get better. So when things are good for you, it's as if Spirit comes in and says, look at the next level. Here's even more love. Here's even more opportunity. And I just feel a lot of protection. It's like them doing this. Like I say them, but it feels like the highest order of beings. It's like, it is God. It is always God. But it's like the next step right down from God. Like whoever represents above, like archangels, above all these other like angelic beings, like the highest order of angelic beings right below God, are sending you these signs, or this not a sign, but it's like protection. So the sign that you get is I'm protected. The sign you get is I'm defended, right? I'm defended against, I'm hearing dark order, so I'm against like a disorder and chaos. I'm defended against this. Really, the biggest message your guides want to show you or deliver to you is that when things are good, they get better. Like compound interest. it's gonna compound. And there's no right or wrong direction for you to take. It's about knowing that you have the opportunities to take different options. So don't prevent yourself from growth by taking on too many projects, right? Like taking on too many, like don't let your mind get so inundated with different ideas where you aren't doing anything about it, or you're doing very minimal about it, right? Slow your pace, because you can revisit things that you want, but just focus on a few, 3, and increase from there. Decide from there, right? You process elimination there, and then add on something, right? And maintain like that, and keep going and keep going and keep going. Because that's, I don't want to say it's burnout, but I just keep looking at the candle that I have that I use to light this, and it's reminding me again of how this went out twice. And the candle that I used to light this looks like it's on the verge of burning out when it's a fairly new candle. But as I tilt it, I just touched it just now off camera, I tilted it and it burned bright, right? It's like just a simple movement. And they're also giving the example of, okay, when you light it, right, when you light from another candle, another source, and you add the wax to it, right, then maybe this candle is too full of wax, right? It's coming from another source. So it's this feeling that they're trying to draw me into to help you kind of like understand it in a way where it's not like you're burnt out because, or you don't have the risk of burnout because things are going to be too much for you or whatever. It's that taking on things that aren't right for you, because it's multiple things. It's either or the maybe the structure that other people give to you, like the guidelines other people give you, or maybe the opinions, but it feels more like doing it the way other people say to do it, or doing it the way other people have done it, whether they tell you or not. So you're taking on other people's structure when you're meant to follow what you have envisioned, what you've been gifted. It's some sort of thing that you've been gifted. You're supposed to do it that way because it's like this map that fits you perfectly. It's going to lead to success for you because it's more designed for you and the way that you function. And so the only way that this can burn out is taking on those from others, and also from not doing anything, right? What we talked about with having so many options that you just dabble in a few things here and there. It's picking a few, doing it, and then deciding, do you want to continue to do it? And then scrapping it or setting it to the side and revisiting it later, right? Because they're showing the map, like an entire map, and how it's like, look at it with like visualize a map, okay? And you see all the roads, and visualize yourself looking at the map, not in the town of whatever map you're looking at, but just looking around with your eyes. And they're saying that's exactly how we want you to see the map that you've been given, is you're moving around with your eyes. Like you can jump to another part of the map. You can jump to another part of the road. You're not stuck, committed to one part of it. You can look at it as a whole, and you can move around as much as you want. It's just important that they're saying like study it. You have to study it and memorize it. Like you have to, it's almost like you have to have the methodology, right? Like you can be grateful that you have the map. You can be happy that you have the map. But if you're not really doing anything with it, if you have no sense of direction when it comes to what the map is telling you, right? And you're just I'm not overwhelmed, but just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like when you get something and you're not looking at the details, right? So if someone asks you something about it, you can't really say like, oh, I think this is like, no, I really don't know. I just was really happy and it looks cool, but I can't recall anything about it. So they want you to really study it so that you can recall it. So it has meaning. You assign meaning to it and purpose to it. And there's something about your thought vibrations that are really, really, really important right now. And as I was saying that, like I'm like scratching my throat. It's like getting super itchy. It's like it's something to do with pain and how you cope with pain. And it's it's really valuable, like the way that you cope with it, that and how you express it is important, in a sense that like you stand out in a good way. You stand out because of this. So it's important that it's almost like take an authoritative role over your pain, or like the way that you have expressed or like not benefited, but like grown from your pain. Like who you've become because of it and how you've expressed it is I got the number 13, but they showed it from 13 into 4, and then they're putting a 0 in front of the 4, but then they're making it, then they made it into 104, and I tried to make it into a 5, and they said not to make it into a 5. So 104, I would meditate on that number. That might be a specific number for someone out there already, but just meditate on that. I'm asking about like the angel numbers. You know, like usually when I get numbers, I'll say, oh, just look it up. Like it means whatever. But they want you to, there's an emphasis on wanting you to really meditate on what that, like try and feel what that means. And then if you feel as if you want to look it up after you meditated to see if that aligns with what you were feeling, like connecting it together. And when I saw 13, they were bringing me in, they're bringing up Taylor Swift, because I kept looking to see the tarot card for 13, and they kept pulling me away from that, and they were showing me Taylor Swift. I'm aware of this because I always thought that was strange. I don't know if it's like her age or birthday or something, like why that was always such an important or like lucky number for her. But they're showing 13 with Taylor Swift, and how it's like how her way of expressing her pain, the way of her expressing her life, the way that she kind of just gets everything done in her life, right? Like that's what they're showing is another example, like the success that she's reached, and also the impact that she's reached through those creative markers in life. And they're showing an example, and they're putting 13, and they're pulling 13 out from away from that symbol. So then basically they're showing you as Taylor Swift, and they're pulling 13 out and putting it out into like the energy field, and they're showing 13 in a more darker aspect, and it's like splattered in red. And they're saying that 13 in that term, they're saying be wary of, I saw the word seizure. And I wonder, it's kind of like seizing, like I'm feeling that feeling of like a wrongful seizure, right? Like it's like wrongful taking. So it's this wrongful taking of your energy, or wrongful accusations, or wrongful opinions. So this is a separate subject, it feels, from what I was discussing here with the wax, but it's added on. So they're saying with the opinions of other people, I don't see this as being, this would lead to burnout. It would lead to you not willing to take the risks required for the visions that you have in the way that you would if you weren't wary of that. You know, it's like wrongful search and seizure, right? There has to be like a protocol to do that. So, I mean, that might be specific for some of you guys. I mean, you would only know that. But symbolically, I am seeing this is of your energy. So don't let someone wrongfully accuse or wrongfully rob you, right? Don't let them rob you of your energy or your mind or your creative space, right? Keep your boundaries up, your energetic boundaries up, because just like with Taylor Swift, she had a lot of opposition as she was growing in the music industry, and so don't allow, right? And there's also a lot of criticism about her music, right, and what she would write about, and so she could have changed direction, right, and got and listened to that kind of criticism and done some sort of other, you know, not just genre, but like the context of her songs, right? So pay attention to that, because, you know, in order to be someone incredible, you have to do incredible things, right? And all of those instances, you know, occur when you do things before it makes sense for other people, right? So it's kind of like this feeling like some things that you may do are going to seem crazy or, you know, or like just different, and you have to risk that for the reward. And the reward ultimately is authenticity, and it's like maintaining the vision that you were on the surface of the water, and that feeling that you get, you know, your abilities, right? Your psychic abilities, your ability to connect with spirit, your ability to see yourself as a spirit. You have to maintain sovereignty when it comes to that, and prioritize freedom in the sense of spiritual freedom to experience in the way that you rightfully have, and to not allow yourself to be I'm hearing like don't subscribe me to your limitations. Keep that up and keep that going, because you are backed by spirit, you are protected by spirit, and when things are good, they get better. So that's what I'm getting today. I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, that's it. Bye.